Okay, let's continue with preview. Let's look for some more questions. Okay, the coils of an AC generator make one complete rotation. The resulting graph for the output EMF is shown below. So it's AC. The position B on the graph is obtained when the plane of the coil is at an angle of, the plane of the coil is at an angle of, so that's B. So here's your field, here's the plane of the coil, so it's got an angle of 0 degrees. So that's the answer there. That's when it's going to be cutting the maximum field lines, and therefore it's going to get the maximum EMF or voltage. Let's have a look here. Which one of the following cannot be explained using the Doppler effect? Emission of electrons, that's the photoelectric effect. Flow meters in hospitals, that's Doppler. Red spectral lines from distant stars, that's Doppler. Observed frequency of light from moving bodies being higher, so that's Doppler. So it's obviously A, which is the photoelectric effect. 3 identical light bulbs. Okay, I just want to have a look and see. No, there's still nobody there. So let's have a look here. 3 identical light bulbs are connected in a circuit as shown below. The resistance of the, so these are identical. The resistance of the battery and the connecting wires can be ignored. Which one of the following statements is correct when the switch is closed? Okay, so current's flowing. That's identical to that. And then we've got another resistance there. The reading on V1 is V1 going to be greater or less than V2? So that's what they compare. Okay. So what happens? Current leaves here. When it hits a resistor, it drops. So these sides of the voltmeter are the same. They're all connected to the negative side of the battery. So here the voltmeter is going to hit a resistor and drop, and then it's going to come here and drop again. So this V1 is going to measure with no drop. So it's going to, V1 is going to be twice as much as V2. Let's just see, they say that. The reading on V1 is twice that on V2, or 3 times that on V2. Well, if this is the full resistance, then each time it goes through a bulb, it drops by half and then drops by half again because they're identical. So that's going to be half the resistance. If there were 3 bulbs, it dropped by 1/3. So the answer is going to be twice that on V2. The speed of rotation of the coils of an AC generator is increased. Which one of the following combinations of frequency and output voltage for the generator will occur as a result of the change? Okay, if the frequency increases, the output voltage increases. So the speed of rotation increases, then the frequency obviously will increase, and the output voltage will increase. So the answer is A. So there we go. We still don't have any learners. They were trying to connect, but unfortunately they couldn't. So let's go back to answering some questions so we don't waste time. The spectrum of an element from a star shows some absorption lines. These lines are produced because atoms absorb energy when moving from an excited state to a lower energy state. No, they absorb energy when they go from lower to higher. Okay, now we've got 2 participants. Yay! Let's go there. We've got 2 people. Can you guys see me at all? Have you got a means of maybe you could hit the chat button or something, and just see.
is er nie.
Right, so the class is coming online. I just want to go back to sharing the screen. I'm just trying to make use of the time we've got here. So atoms absorb energy when moving from a lower to an excited state. A cold gas absorbs certain frequency of light, and that's what is called absorption frequency. Yeah, a hot gas, no, it's not a hot gas. Atoms release energy, no, it's about absorbing energy. So the answer is B. Okay, here's a Doppler question. The hoot of a car emits sound of a constant frequency as the car moves away from a stationary listener. Okay, so the listener stationary car is moving. Which one of the following properties of the sound heard by the listener will not change? Okay. Okay, so the speed of sound doesn't change. The frequency change. Both wavelength and frequency, yes, they change. Frequency and loudness will not change. Okay. So it's velocity that doesn't change. Frequency changes, wavelength and frequency change, frequency and loudness change when things are moving away, but the velocity of sound doesn't change. So that would be the answer. Can you guys see anything, I wonder? I'm just going through these questions. You know, I'm having so much fun here, waiting for you people. Okay, here is this diagram below represents a cell of EMF E, epsilon, and two resistors R1 and R2 in series with R1 less than R2. Okay, so that's less than that. The cell has negligible internal resistance and the voltmeters have very high resistance. Okay, like all voltmeters do. Which one of the following is correct? V1 is equal to V2. No, that's less than that. So the voltage is always greater across R2 than R1. Let's see if V, does it say anything that R2, V upon R is current. V upon R, volts upon resistance, is current. Okay, but the current is the same. Okay, so the answer must be C. Sneaky question. You've got to figure out that V upon R is current, and the current through both of them is the same, so the answer is C. Still don't see you guys. I just hope you can see something, but I can't see you as yet. So I'm just, as I say, having a lot of fun here, just going through some of these questions. Maybe you can see it. A DC generator operates at 80 hertz, not car hire, but hertz frequency. The number of times the output voltage reaches a maximum in 1 second. Okay, if it's got turns 80 times, it means that it reaches a maximum 80 times a second. So there we go. Because each wave cycle has got one, a DC reaches a maximum in. Hang on, that's actually an interesting question, because each cycle, I just want to get a pen. Each cycle goes, okay, come on, pen. I don't want text, I want pen. It's not going to allow me to draw. Okay, well, let's just go back to sharing and see if anyone's, no, still nobody. Let's go back to sharing. Okay, but that's actually not the answer. Just let me see if I can go to here, click on pen. Now, each cycle is like this. That's 1 second. Every second, it reaches a maximum, so it reaches 2 per second. So the answer must be 2 times 80, which is D. Okay, 4 resistors P, Q, R, and T are identical. P, Q, R, and T in a circuit. The cell has an EMF of E, epsilon, and negligible. Switch is initially closed. When switch is now open, which one of the following combinations of changes will occur in P, R, and T? P, R, and T. Okay, so when you open that switch, okay, well, let's work it out. There's a lot of current. There's more current in 2 resistors in parallel. So the moment you open that switch, you're going to get less current through all of them. Yeah, you're going to get less current because you're going to have, as you open it, you're going to get more resistance. So let's just have a look at current. I don't see that you are asking to be admitted. I just see one participant. Can you just ask to be admitted again? So the current is, there's more resistance. The current is going to decrease in R. Remains the same. Okay, maybe it remains the same there, but it's more through, it's going to be less through P. Decrease, decrease. Okay, sorry. So the current stays the same through R, but because there's now more resistance here, the current is going to be, because there's one channel missing, the current is going to decrease through P and decrease through T. P and T, and stays the same. Decrease, decrease. Does the current increase in R? No, the voltage across R is the same. So there's no reason why the current should increase. So the answer is going to be decrease, decrease, and remain the same. No, just thank you so much for all your efforts. I know that technology is just a long broken piece of string with 2 tins on either side, and one's got to do one's best. But thank you so much. Okay, so I'm going to go back to share screen while we wait for them. This is going to be a terrible video. A DC current passes through a rectangular wire loop PQR 0, 0, OPQR, placed between two poles of a magnet. So the poles go from north to south. Which two segments of the loop will experience an electromagnetic force when the loop is in the position above? Which two segments of the loop? Okay, it's going to be that segment and that segment and that segment and that's it. So it's OPQR, OP and QR. And the answer's there. Because these little segments, sneaky question, are not cutting the magnetic field lines. Sneaky. PQ doesn't do anything. Sneaky question. I still don't see anybody. I still don't see anybody being able to connect. Okay, so let's again look for Doppler. And light reaching the Earth from a galaxy moving away shifted towards the, if it's moving away, it's towards the longer wavelengths and the lower frequency, so it's C. The minimum value of the resistance that can be obtained by connecting two 4-ohm resistors is, okay, so this is, what you've got to do is you've got to say 4 plus 4 is 8 is the maximum, and then 1/4, 1 upon 4 plus 1 upon 4 is 2 upon 4, which is a half, and therefore it's going to be 2 when you invert it. So 2 ohms. So what you do is you work them out in series and you work them out in parallel. And if they were in series, if they were in parallel, it'd be 1 upon 2 plus 1 upon 2. And that would be 1 upon 2. Sorry, 1 upon 4 plus 1 upon 4 is 2 upon 4, which is a half. Inverting it is 2. That would be the minimum. Here's graph P represents the output EMF of an AC generator. Graph Q is the output EMF after a change has been made using the same generator. Okay, so you see what's happening. It's going faster with Q and it's creating a higher voltage. No, the coil, the surface area, no, the speed of rotation has been doubled. Yeah, so you've squashed 2 waves into the same, so that's the answer there. Still don't see anybody asking for admission. So let's carry on with this. We're looking for a police car with its siren wailing is moving away from a stationary observer at a constant speed. The siren emits a sound of constant frequency. Which one of the following characteristics are associated with the sound of the siren as perceived by the observer is correct? Police car is moving away from a station. The speed remains the same. Speed of sound always remains the same. The frequency will decrease. So that must be the pitch decreases 1 and 4. That's 1 and 4 only. The wavelength increases. Yeah, that's just 1, 3, and 4. Okay. So there's the answer, 1, 3, and 4. So let me just do this.